Hey, you came back. Surprised you did, but I'm glad you did too. For our second part of our adventure in Northern Ontario, we went from North Bay and we had pancakes in the morning. And that was good. You guys should go to Hoagie's. If you're in North Bay, have some Hoagie's pancakes and sausages because they're awesome. Quick little editor's note. I'm not sponsored by Hoagie's, but hey, if you're interested, I'd be in. We went from North Bay to Kirkland Lake. And along the way, we got to see a lot of different landmarks and fun roadside attractions. And I hope you enjoy it. If you love the rumble of the road and the thrill of the unexpected, you're in the right place. If you think that adventure should be shared, hop in and hang on. Let's twist that throttle, gaze at the horizon, because my name's Jamie, and you're in the sidecar. I'm going to jump in here on the mic because the sound was pretty atrocious on this ride. The vibrations were just making it go for about 30 minutes, so I think that you'd prefer to listen to someone talk before that. Just to tell you a little bit about our ride, we were going out to try to find some different landmarks in Northern Ontario. And our first one is the Big Fish in Marten River, so we're pulling up to it right now. But do you ever wonder why there's a giant fish in Marten Lake? Well, the oversized walleye is not just roadside fun, it's a tribute to the region's deep fishing roots. And Marten Lake has long been a destination for anglers chasing trophy walleye, and the statue basically celebrates that legacy. They've been built to welcome travelers and spark curiosity, and the Big Fish has become a local landmark and, like we're doing right now, a must-stop photo op. So it's classic Northern Ontario, a little quirky, a little proud, and a little fish-obsessed. So just a little bit of information on my passenger, Sidecar Cat. She's my daughter, and we got to go on this ride. She is a full-grown adult living on her own, so we don't get to do these types of things as often. So it was nice to get in the sidecar. Hey, that's the name of the show. With Kat on this one. For those of you who wonder about the comfort of a long road trip, because this was our first road trip in the sidecar. For those of you who wonder about that, we will be making a video about just being a passenger in the sidecar and what that entails. You could put as much as little into it, I think, when you're doing it, but is it comfortable? Is it bumpy? That kind of thing. We'll get into that quite a bit, and I've had some experience with not only this Triumph Speedmaster that I've kitted out to have a rig, sidecar rig, but also I owned a Euro Gear Up beforehand, so they're very different rides too for the passenger, but we'll talk about that in another video, so I'll give you the rundown. And also I'm planning on having a video where we'll talk about how I reformatted my Triumph Speedmaster to be a sidecar rig, so I'll get into all the craziness that happened with that, and why I did it. Because it is a different type of ride for those of you who are looking to maybe get into sidecars. It's a different type of ride altogether. So some positive, some negative. I'll give you all the rundown, And for those of you who are maybe on the fence about getting a sidecar, drop a comment in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. So as you can see here, the pavement's starting to get wet, and I think that you've got that $1 million question that most motorcyclists will run across at one point, where it's like, okay, what do I do? Do I gear up? It looks like it might rain, but I'm not sure. It's, you know, even if the pavement's getting wet and my pants might get wet, that kind of thing. Yeah, you know, there's a point of no return when your pants get wet and it's an uncomfortable ride. So I think we're gonna pull over pretty soon and gear up because the weather did turn pretty fast, and it does in this area. I find it's probably because it's a valley that the weather turns really fast. But you know, that's what you plan for when you're going out on motorcycle rides. Yeah, be ready for any scenario. So right here we're pulling into Temagami, which is really a lovely town. It's a beautiful town as you're coming in here, and as you can see, just picturesque, right? With the lake, and the village is basically nestled on the lake and stuff like that. And I think Sidecar Cat, when she saw it for the first time, something spoke to her, because there's a beauty to this, and all the small towns in Northern Ontario when you're heading up and they break up like this, the scenery, and it's really nice. And Temagami's probably the best example from the stretch from North Bay up to Kirkland Lake of just a beautiful town on the water. And a great destination too if you're on a road trip. It's a good place to stop. We didn't in this case, but if ever you're looking to stop, there's a lot of neat little shops and stuff like that. Yep, we hit the weather. It was expected. You could see it in the sky, and as we go, it'll get a little bit worse. But once you start getting into that wet pavement, you know, it's time to gear up. I think a lot of times, depending on what kind of gear you have, you know, it can make a difference. So we did in this case, and as you can see, the rain started coming down quite a bit. Often get asked about the sidecar itself and how waterproof it is. It was a question that I had when I first started with my Ural. You know, how does the passenger stay dry if it really comes down? You know, does the tub fill up? Like, is it, you know, one of those things where you're going to have like an inch of water on the bottom? And to answer that question, yes, you would have water on the bottom, but the saving grace in both the Ural and this Triumph sidecar that I've had is the tonneau cover. So part of it is just you button up, or you tie up the tonneau cover that usually comes with your sidecar, and you do it halfway so that the rain doesn't get in the sidecar. But the passenger still should probably wear some rain gear because they're going to get wet, right? So the windshield on my specific model of sidecar made a big difference. It's a little bit higher, so I think it blocks a bit of the rain. But yeah, when you're in the rain on a sidecar, the tonneau cover is what really saves your bacon. So one of the things you'll probably notice in these videos is I get passed quite a lot. And I think with the sidecar, you kind of have to expect that you're going to be going a little bit slower. So it's part of the ride. Even with the Speedmaster, which has enough power to, in compared to my Ural, it has much more power, and I can cruise at certain speeds a lot better. I think that there's something with the sidecar. You don't want to push it too much. I think it's probably a big strain on the motor, number one. But also, it's just once you get past a certain speed, I think that the control of the sidecar becomes an issue. So when it comes to sidecar, you have to kind of enjoy the ride, right? And if you dial back in your brain that you're not going very fast, and that if there's someone that wants to overtake you or that sort of thing, then you just let him. And if someone's riding a little bit too close behind you, pull over and let him pass. I don't have much of an ego when it comes to that kind of thing. You're not going to go very fast in a sidecar, and at the end of the day, if someone wants to go a little bit faster, who am I to stop them? So I usually let them have the way so that they can go. But in a sidecar, you kind of have to plan for a longer trip, because you're going to be going a little bit slower. Not much slower, but a little bit slower. You could see that we really hit the weather when it came there. And this region, that sort of Temagami to Temiscaming Shores region, I think that the weather can turn pretty fast there. But when you're prepared, you've got your gear, you're in good shape. And generally, this stretch of the 11 is not as dangerous as further down. I think once you get past Kirkland Lake and you're heading up towards Temiscaming and that sort of thing, I think that that highway gets pretty dangerous from what I hear. But this stretch here, I mean, it's pretty good. You take it easy in the rain too with the sidecar. And some people ask me about how it handles in the rain, and it handles really well. Obviously, you a lot of the worries that you might have on a solo motorcycle without a sidecar will kind of evaporate to a certain degree with the stability of that third wheel. I don't ride a sidecar for the stability. I ride it for many other reasons, which I'll make a video about. But the stability is not one of them. It's not something that concerns me. But I have to admit, in the rain, it's much easier. Every town has a claim to fame, and New Liskeard went all in on a cow. So this big bovine is a nod to Temiscaming Shores, deep farming roots, and a dairy country through and through. And that's long before Instagram and YouTube that cows were paying the bills around here. So instead of a statue of a politician or a plaque nobody reads, they built a giant cow. Because when your land is rich and your community is strong and your milk is legendary, you don't whisper it, you moo it proudly. And yeah, sure, I know, I said New Liskeard, and I'm sure that I'm going to offend somebody there. I'm old school, right? It's always going to be New Liskeard to me. But yes, the region now, the amalgamated region, is called Temiscaming Shores. I think there's always a part in a road trip that has rain, where the rain stops and you're kind of stuck with all your rain gear on and you get kind of uncomfortable. That's this part. Meet Manitou. No, not your uncle with the legendary barbecue skills. Manitou, the Bison. Standing proudly, Manitou isn't just big, he's iconic. And this statue pays tribute to the bison, an animal that once roamed Canada in massive herds and played a huge role in Indigenous culture, survival, and history. Bison were basically the original all-in-one package. Their food, clothing, tools. But by the late 1800s, they were nearly wiped out. Manitou stands here as a reminder that conservation matters and that we actually learn something from our history, progress. So let's be honest, he's impossible to ignore. You don't accidentally drive past Manitou. You notice him, you stop, you stare, you take a photo, maybe you question how small you feel right now. So next time you see Manitou, give him a nod. He's not just a statue, he's a symbol of resilience, respect, and one very large reminder that Ontario and Canada, and Northern Ontario especially, loves its big roadside legends. So as we come into Kirkland Lake, you're going to hear a sidecar cat make a big brouhaha in the sidecar. It's because she noticed the name of a town that if you go to the right, you go to Kirkland Lake, and if you go to the left, you're going somewhere else. See if you spot it. And I'm sure those of you in that area know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, my glasses are so bent.
You're still recording.
Oh, I am?
So, not the first fish we've seen today, but if you're driving through Larder Lake, Ontario, you might suddenly feel like you've entered a fisherman's tall tale because, yes, that trout is really that big. This giant trout pays tribute to Larder Lake's deep roots in fishing, mining, and northern pride. It's a reminder that up here, the fish are legendary, the stories are even bigger, and nobody ever says it was a small one, right? You know what I'm talking about. So stop in, grab a photo, and remember, in Northern Ontario, the trout always wins. So next we are headed to Virginiatown, and there's a really good reason for that. Virginiatown is not too far from the border with Quebec, and when you're headed up that way, you see that the mining is very important in Northern Ontario and Western Quebec, and you get that evidence there. But the reason we're going is, if you ever find yourself driving through Northern Ontario and suddenly, boom, a giant gold coin, well, welcome to Virginiatown, home of the big gold sovereign. This oversized coin isn't just roadside flair, it's a tribute to the gold rush days when this town was literally built on gold. The miners came from everywhere chasing fortune and swinging picks and dreaming big, very big. So big, in fact, that eventually they said, let's make a big, huge coin. That's classic Northern Ontario logic. Proud history, bold statement, and zero subtlety. And honestly, I love it. Because if you're going to celebrate gold, you may as well go with a full giant coin. And anybody who's watched this channel knows I love giant coins. I will look to be doing a road trip at some point in the future where I hit these all up again. So the Campbellford, the Toonie, the Big Nickel in Sudbury, this gold sovereign again. I'd love the giant coins. I don't know why. Don't ask.